This is Jason Verney's podcast. I am Jason Verney. Okay, so it's been a little while since I recorded a podcast. Perhaps the last one was House of Hummingbird, the Korean film, South Korean film. But what I've also been doing on my YouTube channel, which if you're interested, it's YouTube/Jason Verney. Is I've been reporting and talking about and discussing the Parasite movie, the South Korean film, and also Bong Joon-ho's visit to London. I was lucky enough to meet him as well, and it was kind of it took up a few of my postings on YouTube, and other stuff has got in the way. There's a certain virus going around. I'm not sure if you've heard of it. I shouldn't really laugh, but I do like the way that everyone's trying to make light of things at the moment, which is brilliant to see, because it's not an easy time for everybody. There was a video, actually it was one review I did, which is also on YouTube. It was a review while I was out walking, actually, regarding Adam Sandler's film. Don't be put off by that name if you don't like his films. Uncut Gems, which eventually not long after that went to Netflix. I haven't done one for a while, but this one that I'm going to review now, or at least do a spoiler-free, sort of vague review as best I can regarding it. It's actually released on Curzon Home Cinema, a video-on-demand service. Of course, a lot of films now are not being released in a cinema. There aren't cinemas open, so they're having to put them directly to online platforms. So it's even on iTunes. They're going on iTunes for quite a hefty price, but they're going on there instead of the cinema. Certain ones have more rights over others. Even Parasite was, a Curzon kind of related thing, but Odeon's took it on as well. I think I've covered that. I just wanted to mention the fact that I've been posting stuff on YouTube, and I gave you the link. A mini movie is my website. I have been posting one or two articles there, and I'm going to post one probably about this particular film and this particular podcast, Systemsprenger. That's the film I'm going to review. But also, I'm also probably going to post something just to do with masks, and as in masks that we should or shouldn't wear for this virus. I've got my own opinions on that, and also it's quite an important thing. Either way, whichever way you look at it. That will be going on. Even though it's not film related, it is. A lot of my films I review. This one is a German film that I'm reviewing now, Systemsprenger. I have to say, it's a really good film. But subjective, objective, whatever you want to say. It's subjective, taste. But I wanted to post that thing about masks because it's concerning Asia and West. It's called East. It's to do with East and West. The way masks are interpreted, used, how they're thought of. And because, as I say, a lot of work I do is either in Asia or with Asia or Asian films and Asian movies, and my films have revolved around that. Even the film I'm currently doing, incidentally, I'm making a medium-length short or a medium-length feature, depends which way you want to call it. It's not a short, it's a long short. It's a work of fiction, but it does have an Asian element to it. So look out for that. So let's get on with this. This particular film is Systemsprenger. It's a German film, the last good German film I've seen. Of course, I haven't seen a great deal of them, or the one that really sticks out is Tony Erdmann. That was fantastic. That was a brilliant film, very poignant, very funny. This film is poignant, but it's very shocking as well. There was another reason for doing this, because incidentally, I must say that this film hasn't come out yet. But it is on, as I mentioned, Curzon Home Cinema, from the 27th. As I record this now, it's the 25th. I'm actually getting lost in what days it is. But it's, and I will say one other thing, I should have mentioned this earlier actually, but basically I'm not recording this perhaps in the usual place or the last places I've been recording, or at least in a different. It's a similar. It's kind of a similar or same place, but it's a different environment now. Of course, everything's being moved around because of coronavirus. So, in other words, I might be recording in a similar place, but circumstances have been changed. So, if the audio quality is different, I've also got the window wide open. It's a beautiful day out there. There was actually some children running around earlier. There's a woman, or a girl, sitting on a blanket outside. From what I could see, but I was going to record this with the children running around because it's quite apt, because they were, making noises, and you could hear that in the distance. And this film is about a child. So, as I was going to say just now, the other reason for doing this, sort of motivating me to record this podcast, not only the film really surprised me because it was so good. And I got the press release and everything, and I read about it. And I don't like to read too much. In fact, I didn't. I think I might have read the tagline, which I might have to hand somewhere. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's kind of. Let's see if I have got it to hand. Actually, let's just have a quick look. Just because it might be useful to know. I think it was something like. The tagline, logline was like very simple. On her wild quest for love, 9-year-old Benny's untamed energy drives everyone around her to despair. So that tells you a lot. So let's get on with it. No more faffing around. Oh, there you go. I just heard a child outside. I didn't mention the other reason for recording this, or what propelled me to, is I know a girl who has been very similar to this girl in the film. Probably not as bad, and I say bad. The character in this film, like everybody has their reasons for doing things, but this particular girl, not only does she look very much like the girl I'm thinking of, and talking about. She's probably similar age, or has been this age, and it's not only does she look like her, she acts just like her. I don't know if she's got the same background as this character, because this character, as I say, there are reasons for this. Anyway, so on with the film. A lot of rambling there. The film itself opens with a girl. She's in a kind of a hospitalish environment, so she's on a bed. She's having tests done. She looks fine, and she's asking if she's been taking the medication, whatever that's to do with, we don't know. And then we are, we move to the next scene, which is, I believe the next scene is a school environment. And she's been a bit of a tearaway at this school or home. And it's clear that she's a boisterous character, and she swears at people as they're passing. She calls them the C word. I think there's an F word, the A word, if you can guess what they are. And she's just a real, you could say problem child, but it's she's a real tearaway. I mean, and I've never seen anything like this in any film of a child being like this. The director's really captured. I mean, the actress. She's amazing, and she's just perfect. I can't really say any more about it. She's just brilliantly portraying this girl. So this girl, as I say, she's been passed because of this. That she can't seem to settle down. She's always active. She's abusive. She's destructive. She's being passed from. Because of this, she's being passed from pillar to post, from social workers, child protection. I think it's a child protection agency. As a woman that's always sending her to a new place, whether that's with a family, so a family that's already got children and she can fit in there, or whether they're adopted. That's another thing you can take away from this film and these scenes, or whether it's another basically a school for children. It's but there is a point where they get to a point, and this is very early on in the film, where she's pretty much exhausted all options out there for somewhere to be, to live and or to be educated. This girl, she's been passed from pillar to post, as I said, because she can't settle down. And again, that I can relate a lot to that regarding this person that I've known, the daughter of somebody that I know. Talking about being a daughter, in this film, the one thing that all this girl seems to want, as the film progresses a few minutes on this, is her mum. That's all she wants, her mum. Now the circumstances are where her mum lives, her old home. Something happened, and she can't live there. Now, when I say something happened, again, I'm trying to be deliberately vague. Something happened, whether she was the instigator because of her behaviour, or whether something happened with the guy that lives there as well, or maybe a mixture of things. So she just misses her mum, and that's all she wants. But again, it's all she wants. But can she be, let's say, trusted to be back at that home? Back at her real home. So still early on, I suppose. The character is introduced. He's her. What do they call him in this? School escort. So as much as she doesn't want to go to a school, incidentally, I'll just backtrack a bit there. Even though there's talk of her exhausting all the options, all the schools and that, there's mention of her going to Africa. There's a special system or some homes for children where you get involved with activities and you help with working and you help with other stuff, and it's all wrapped around education as well, but in Kenya. And so that's mentioned. Anyway, so in steps this character. He's this school escort, and he doesn't know what to do with her. She's the same, but they seem to be. We think that they're building a relationship. So what he suggests anyway is to take her away to this kind of cabin, this place in the woods, a place that he's got that she can be isolated from everybody, which is quite ironic, seeing as where I am in self-isolation, not because I've got the disease, the coronavirus, just because self-isolation is what we should all be doing when we can, as best we can right now. Anyway, back to this. So she's taken away to this remote area, kind of woodland, forest, and they seem to gel a bit, but they seem to not gel. So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, she might at times during this film she might wet the bed. She's in fact, there's one scene in this where she actually deliberately wets something, and that's what I'm going to say. But this character, she's a handful. Let's just say she's a handful. So it's pretty good. It's pretty amazing film. The director, I think she said that I should really mention more about these characters and actors, but let's just find what we want here. By the way, the actress I was talking about was, I do know this much, is Helena Zengel. I've got this information to hand. She's been in other films, but she's amazing in this. Yeah, Helena, but this is German. Zengel. She is the standout, the girl that's in this, the main character, the system crasher, if you like. I can't remember whereabouts in the film if it's revealed about system crasher and what the meanings are, but there's lots out there that can tell you this. So as I say, the director Nora Fingshade has written and directed her, but she learnt about this kind of these issues and these schools and this Kenya, even these places in Kenya. So this has been adapted from what she's witnessed, as a lot of films are, I suppose. And it's just she's this tearaway. I mean, I can't really describe this character. It's so. I mean, this film, I'm hoping it will do really well. I mean, the thing is as well. It's people love films that are happy. People love films that are sad. People love films that are tense, and people love films that are kind of over the top. And the way this is done here, by the way, it's not OTT. It's not over the top. It's It's so real. It's so real as well. It's so, it's something else I was just thinking about. There's a point as well. I probably can mention this because it's not a spoiler as such. The mother almost decides that she can take back the daughter, this girl. But even then, we're not too sure whether she can or not. I suppose that's all I should really say about that. And the film develops even after that part in the woods. That part in where does her life turn around? I'm not going to say any more about that either. But it's amazing. She cares for people. She cares for the woman who's kind of trying to find her all these places. I think her name's Balange, or I can't remember exactly. In fact, I can probably find that out. Let's leave that. So yeah, she cares. She does care for people, especially when Mrs. Bethany, maybe. She does care for people. Once she's done a lot of wrongness, and the woman's, for example, the woman's upset and crying, she does confide, but it doesn't stop her behaviour. And maybe it's because she cares for her because she's been the one passing around to all these places to see how she can get on with people. So this film, I really wanted to do this. I'm going to post, if I think of something else in a second, I will. But there's also, I will post this on my website, minimovie.com, at least in the format of a post linking to this and maybe some other information. And I will be putting this. This will go through Spreaker, which is the system I use for podcasts. But it will also go to iTunes. You can find it under Jason Verney. And it will also go to YouTube. YouTube's where all my content's pretty much going. So whether it's films I do, whether it's events I've filmed, whether it's I've done some podcasts, some vlogs regarding the coronavirus in Koreatown, which is where I'm kind of residing now, at least for now. And I will just be mentioning more stuff about films on these platforms. As I say, YouTube is YouTube/Jason Verney. That's all you really need. So the film is amazing, really good, in my opinion. Of course, you might not like it, but I was going to say, what I was saying was, people love happy films, people love sad films, people love thrilling films, but people also love it when there's this character that's just uncontrollable, whether it's a villain in a film or something, or a child in this film. This child being Benny. Her name's Benny, as in Benni. I just also recalled there is a scene regarding a baby, and they kind of get on well, but do they get on well? So it's. I don't really want to say too much more, and sorry if it's been a bit of a rambling podcast review, but I really recommend this. It's in Curzon Home Cinema. I keep saying home video, but home cinema. That from the 27th. Of course, it might be elsewhere after that. I'm sure it will eventually find its way to iTunes and other places, but that's where it's being debuted. That's where it would have been in the cinema and a nationwide, international/nationwide release. It's done well at film festivals as well. So System Crasher is the film, and as I mentioned, the actress, and also I should also mention the director. I have mentioned the director, but yes, it's Nora Fingscheid, and she's done this so well. She's just brilliant. There are some videos on YouTube where she talks about it briefly. Okay, so I'm probably going to see this film a second time, maybe third, fourth, whatever, but I often do. But I hope you can see it at least once. Anyway, that's it. All the best, and I wish you well. Please keep well. Please help your neighbours if they need it. Please help the elderly if you can, if you're stepping outside. And please just stay safe. And, talk to you later. See ya.